Welcome, everybody, to the Resourceful Vet Podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Wilson, and today we have Bradley Rice on here to talk to you about Salesforce. Bradley, thank you for being here today.
Absolutely, Taylor. Thank you for having me on. I love talking about Salesforce and helping people sort of jumpstart their careers and level up their careers. So I'm excited to talk with you.
Thank you. So Bradley, I know that you're a consultant and you've been in the Salesforce ecosystem for quite a while now, and I'm just interested more about your background and who is Salesforce for Everyone for?
Yeah, so Salesforce for Everyone is sort of the naming behind what we've created for a Facebook group and the YouTube channel that we run. And the concept behind this is that truly, I have been in the space for about 10 years now, just over 10 years. And I've seen a lot of different things. I've seen Trailhead become an actual thing. You know, a few years ago, that wasn't real. We didn't have Process Builder. We didn't have Flow. We didn't have a lot of the things we had today. We had, I think, 5, 6 certifications to choose from. And that was the whole breadth of what Salesforce was and how you could train and learn. And so I found over time that I've met a lot of people from different backgrounds. I've met people who used to be part-time workers at Walmart, and now they're Salesforce professionals. People who used to be DJs in Ireland, and now they're Salesforce professionals, or preachers, or just anything and everything. And I sort of realized that Salesforce is for everyone. It's not for computer science majors and tech gurus, or really any limitation. It is for anyone who's ready to learn a new skill and they're ready to dedicate some time and energy to focusing on it. So that's really where the naming came from for it. And that's really the passion I have behind this is truly, it's for everyone. If you want to do this, you absolutely can. You just have to follow the right steps.
Well, I know you said too, you don't have to just be a computer science major to do Salesforce. So if anybody who wants to do Salesforce, what kind of jobs or roles can you do in Salesforce?
Yeah, that's one of the most incredible things about the Salesforce ecosystem. I mean, it is impressive. So I'm a millennial. And so typically what comes with stereotyping people like myself is that we can't sit still. We're constantly jumping around. We always want something new and fresh. We get bored of things very quickly. And I'm not going to disagrre with that for myself personally. And I think that's why Salesforce was so attractive to me as a profession. You'll find on the front end, if you start looking at Salesforce roles, you'll find things like, well, you can be a business analyst, or you can be an administrator, or you can be a developer. And then if you keep digging, you'll find that you can be a solution architect or a technical architect, or you can be a project manager, an engagement manager. You can be so many different roles. And that's really just tip of the iceberg. I mean, we're talking about, you can be a CPQ specialist for configure, price, quote, or basically, building sales pipelines and things like that. You can be a marketing automation specialist specifically on the Salesforce platform. There are a lot of different things you can do. And what I love about it is that it's not industry specific. So if you come from an education background and you might think, well, I'm a high school teacher, how could I possibly be a Salesforce professional? There's an entire, what's referred to as a cloud for education. For implementing Salesforce into higher education systems like schools, like private schools and public schools, and graduate schools and colleges and things like that. And it's amazing how you would think an unrelated skill can absolutely come over. And what I love is I've worked in industries like finance as a Salesforce professional. I've worked in healthcare as a Salesforce professional. I've worked in nonprofit, and you can take this career and it doesn't have to be mundane. You don't have to do 20, 30, 40 years of the same job every day. You can work in totally different industries with totally different people and completely, dynamic and versatile technologies without ever feeling like you're doing the same old thing every single day. So it's pretty amazing. And it definitely feeds my personality for sure.
Yeah. Well, I know too, you said that, high school teachers and others are using these clouds. And I'm just interested, why are CRMs being used by businesses and others now?
Yeah, I think CRM is one of those terms where it's nice to categorize Salesforce. It's nice to categorize any system. It helps give understanding. But just a brief background of, a CRM, it's customer relationship management, right? And the whole purpose of Salesforce, to try to put it as concisely as possible, is it's meant to operate the back the back end, I'm trying to think about how to say this, not in sort of technical nomenclature. It's meant to take the processes of any business, doesn't matter what it is, take those processes and streamline them, make them more efficient, automate them, and make it so that you can do something that used to take, maybe 40 man hours. And now you can automate it and make it more accurate and more effective and more easy to take action on. And it might only take you 5 hours to do the same thing that took 40 hours to do yesterday. So if you just imagine any process of, we just got a sale and we just brought on a new customer, and now we need to train them on how to use whatever it is we just sold them. And now we need to make sure that they're happy with the product that we just sold them. And we need a way for them to report any issues that they have. And we need a way to maybe sell them additional products that might be meaningful to them in the future. And Salesforce takes all of these, very, very intensive and very complex processes and makes them automatic and more efficient, so that when you think about the process I just went through, that could require 4 or 5 employees. And we can make that very doable, to follow that entire process for one individual in just a couple hours a day to be able to really manage customers. And that's just one example of, a simple process that can be handled by a platform like Salesforce. And when you look at it that way, it becomes pretty obvious why companies want tools like Salesforce. I'm personally a small business owner, and without Salesforce, I would have, one tool for sending marketing information like emails, communication like that. I would have another tool to host, a website or an outward facing community. I would have another tool where I might have an actual program built for people to come look at the product online and things like that. And then, of course, I've got to manage my contacts and figure out who my customers are and give them a way to be supported when they need help with a product. And I might have to use 5, 10, even 15 different tools to make all of that happen as a small business owner. And that's what many, small and mid-sized business owners are seeing, and even enterprise, that they're seeing that they're using 10, 15, 20 different tools to run their business. And Salesforce gives you the ability to do it all in one platform, or at least 90% of it in one platform, which is absolutely critical to scaling any business.
Yeah, it sounds like it really is helping as far as, simplifying and, just being able to get the job done quicker. So,
yeah.
And I'm interested too, how can people learn more about what you do?
Yeah. So I think, to sort of, again, try to summarize what I do is I went from graduating from college, not knowing anything about Salesforce. I had an economics degree. I wanted to be a high school economics teacher. Could not find a job anywhere in my area. I think I applied for probably 200 to 300 positions, but I had no understanding of how to apply for jobs effectively or what I could do to stand out from every other applicant. And I had no idea how to interview, properly for the, jobs I was attempting to get. And I was just a college kid trying to figure out how to break into not just a specific space, but just into the working world. And it was not easy. And I ended up taking a job, making $14,000 a year, working full time. And I was not happy with it. And I was looking for anything and everything that would just accept me. I didn't care if I made even less money. I just wanted to do something different and try a different industry. And I ended up being very fortunate and landed a job as a junior Salesforce administrator. And at the time I was making 36 grand. And I was thrilled. I had benefits, I had paid time off. And it was excellent. It was more money than I'd ever made before. And I felt like I finally had my foot in the door, but I still didn't know what Salesforce was. And luckily I had some great mentors at that first company who taught me about the Salesforce consulting world. They showed me that this is not a job. This is a career. It's very versatile. There's a lot you can do with it. There's huge demand for it. And I took their advice because nobody else was giving me advice. So I took their advice, and fortunately I did. And fortunately they were right. And I went into Salesforce consulting. So I worked a W-2 internal position for about 2 years, did consulting full-time with consulting firms for about 4 years. And then for the last 5 years, I've been a freelance consultant, operating my own independent consulting firm. And then also taking all of that knowledge and all of that history and everything I've understood to create groups like Salesforce for Everyone and the YouTube channel. And we now have over 5,000 people in that Facebook group, and it is clean. There's no marketing. There's no spamming. There's none of this like certification dumps or this other garbage that comes into these mainstream Salesforce groups. And we have kept it completely clean so that it's a safe, sort of honest environment for Salesforce professionals to get to know each other and feel like they're part of a community. And then more recently, here in the last year, I've developed 2 different programs. The Salesforce Career Development Program is designed for beginners who are struggling to get into the Salesforce ecosystem. I hear a lot of people say things like, well, you need 3 to 5 certifications to get into the Salesforce space, or the Salesforce space is saturated. There aren't as many jobs as there used to be. And all of that is 100% false. And it's really, it doesn't take 5 certs, and it's not saturated at all. But you have to know the strategies and techniques to actually break into the space. And so what we do is we take people who, no matter where they're from, whether they've never heard of Salesforce before and they just read that it's a lucrative career path and they want to give it a shot, we take those people. If you are certified, you might even have 2 or 3 certifications, but you still can't get a job. We take those people, and very quickly we U-turn their sort of their mentality, their careers, their preparation, and we get them into jobs. And typically it's less than 100 days. They go from wherever they are today to landing a Salesforce job making 60 to 80,000. I think our average right now is about 68,000 for people landing jobs. We've had people make over 100K at their first job. It's really incredible what you can do if you just use the right techniques and strategies instead of just following what everybody else does and trying to get as many certifications as possible and just wasting your time. And you actually think outside the box and try some strategies that actually have been proven to work. The other thing we do is it's called a career progression program, and it's for existing Salesforce professionals they might be making 60, 80, 100K, but they don't have a clear vision for what they want to do with the rest of their careers. And they end up in this place where they see other professionals saying that they make over $100,000 or $150,000. And they go, how is that even possible? Like, I'm not getting offers like that. And it turns out they have gotten complacent in their current roles, and that they're happy because they make great money, more than they ever thought they would. And that's where I was. I was making incredible money, more than I ever thought I would make. And for some reason, call it fortunate again, I didn't get complacent. And I just thought it was fun to try to figure out new ways to like side hustle and pick up freelance clients and maybe find companies that were willing to give me some interesting benefits or let me work from home or let me work part-time. And I tried a lot of different things because I thought it was fun to pull these different levers. And over time, that's created a lifestyle that I'm very comfortable with. And it's allowed me to have a lot of experience in different areas so that I can coach other people into really having success in pretty much whatever they want to do in the Salesforce space.
Well, Bradley, appreciate you being here today, and thank you for all this great information. If anybody's watching this and wants to find out more, make sure you click the link below. Without further ado, Bradley Rice. Thank you, Bradley.
All right. Thank you.